immediately when you touch down here at the resort, it puts you in a good space.
Yeah.
And I think that's the idea of it, is to really check out of the normal hassles of life and just enjoy the outdoors in its truest, purest form. And I think they've delivered when it comes to that.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, I think, Anthony, are you ready? Yeah, you are. All right. Let's in.
So basically, I'm getting a ride from my friend Andre from my cabin to the front door. So I figured where I'm going next. So I figured I'd show you kind of the view of what I'm seeing. This is the beautiful fence that meets you when you go into your cabin. And I mean, it's just beautiful up at the Catskills this time of year. And I don't know if you're seeing are you seeing a good shot?
Yeah, and believe it or not, even though you're riding in a golf cart, it looks like there you go. It's pretty good. So this is the main road for the Chapin Estates, on which this is located. This lodge. It's in a private, very exclusive area up here. So one little road that goes in and out. But where Anthony was staying, compared to where the main building is, where we're located today, it's right there. But because it's so cold and icy, we're moving him real quick. He lost service. He'll be back when he gets back to the Wi-Fi. So where did this idea come from to create this getaway for people out of New York City?
Well, look, this was a vision of Mr. Chatwal's, our founder and owner.
Yeah.
He actually had some friends up this way, saw the land, and put the vision together.
Right.
And I think the idea was for us to have or to create an environment of total relaxation and detox.
Right.
And I think this is the perfect environment for that. And you can see it by the guests that stay, the experience that they have here. It just puts you in a completely different mind frame. And I think, with all we've dealt with in the past few years with COVID and all of the different things going on, and what better time for a property like this to launch. And you can see why so many other hotel groups are looking at New York as a destination.
Yeah, for sure. It's very different. Now, you had mentioned the fact that the Hamptons and stuff, right? That has always been a natural thing for people who are living in New York City. Now, I'm a Long Island guy, so I never go to the Hamptons, right? But there's something about the Hamptons. It doesn't have the vibe that it used to have. And it's even happening to Montauk, which was like a real fishing village, right? Now it's all becoming New York City East. This
commercialized.
Right. This is not,
it is not that. We're in the beginning stages of the emergence of upstate New York really becoming, because it's always been a ski destination. There's always been some resorts up here, but I think you see the high level caliber of properties that are starting to open in upstate New York. And when you see one come and then you see a second one come, it really lets you know that there's a hot destination that people are looking for.
The fact of the matter is you guys are located 90 minutes to 2 hours out of New York City, depending where you are in Manhattan or, Queens, Brooklyn, and other boroughs as well. But to get out to the Hamptons could literally take longer to get out there, and you don't have as much space, and it's a completely different environment. Now, I get why you'd want to go out there if you're younger and you're more got to be in the social scene, but here it's really a chance to relax, recharge, and spend that critical time with the folks that mean most to you.
Absolutely. This is definitely a place that you either go with your family or your significant other, and you can really spend quality time.
All right,
and enjoy nature at its finest.
That's cool. And you know what? Not only do you get to enjoy nature, but you got this great recreational center where Anthony happens to be right now. And I don't like to brag, Anthony, but we did have a bowling competition last night, and I may have prevailed.
And you won. So I'm going to show you. You come to the recreation center, and they have their own bowling alley. So I have the camera set up where you're going to see a strike. You ready, Glenn?
Yeah, I'm ready. We're putting you on a one shot for this one. All right. Will Anthony get a strike, or will he bring shame upon the Melchiori clan? We're going to find out.
Can you see the pins? Can you see the pins?
We can see the pins mostly. That's a lot better. That's even better right now. We don't want to miss this. We're going to be capturing this on recording.
Here we go.
All right, here we go. Hey, that looks like you got at least 4 or 5. That's great.
Shut up, Glenn. So now we're going to do. Now we're going to pick up the spare, Glenn. Ready?
So yeah, go for it. Let's see. All right, again, everyone, this is Lonnie. Yep. Well, you got the one on the end. Oh, there you go. You did it. Hey, listen, new rules of bowling. You get 3 shots for every 2 these days. They got a special sale going on.
There are no rules.
It looks like, yeah.
So what's great about this resort is you can come to this recreation center, you can play bowl, you can bowl, or you can go to play a little pool.
Mm-hmm.
You can watch a little TV, and you can go upstairs. And I haven't been upstairs, so I'm going to take you upstairs, Glenn.
Yep. For some reason, it's a little fits and starty right now. Your internet.
How about now? Look at this. Tell me this isn't so casual and relaxing. Look at this. Can you see it?
That's amazing. Yeah. Yeah, look at that. What I really liked about the second level is, you've got that fireplace over there, and then back there, I think you're headed towards the movie room. So there's a whole movie room right there, right?
Can you see it? Is it too dark?
No, I couldn't find the light switch yesterday either. So that's all right. It says more about me than anything else. But I love there's a chess table up there and stuff.
Absolutely. I think obviously because of the change in seasons,
Mm-hmm.
you have to create some sort of activities on the inside,
right?
And it only made sense for us to develop this particular portion of the resort where there's a myriad of different activities that you can do indoors as well.
Right.
So, Glenn, what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk over to you right now. So if you want to keep me, I'm just going to show you my walk over to show you how close.
Yeah. We'll totally keep you on there. Yeah. Okay. Absolutely. So if you feel like you communicate, just go ahead and do that along with us. I want everybody to know that what we try to do over here at No Vacancy, set up some really good shots. And then this is not the first time that's happened. Then the sun has the nerve to move on us. And now I'll tell you, looks like we're in some sort of ancient cabal over here, right? And it's some sort
so move the camera. So move the camera. No,
we'll try.
Can you move it? As I show everyone how beautiful.
But we don't want to get rid of the elk. Yeah. Hold on. There we go.
But take yourself out of the shot, and I'll just show the beauty of the.
Yeah, I can put you over us. I can't take us out because then we'll lose everything. Now take a look at
that. Look how beautiful.
Wow. Yeah.
So this is the recreation center, and the recreation center is literally steps from the lodge where I'm going to see Glenn right now, and that's where you get your breakfast, your lunch, and your dinner. And when we talk about the food, just be warned that I'm going to start freaking out because it was probably one of the best meals I've had in decades. It probably was one of the best meals I've had in decades last night.
Well, I see that as a challenge. Hoteliers out there, feel free to invite us over and see if you could beat that. All right, no matter which way I turn this, I'm I'm definitely glowing. I don't know why, but maybe let's move it back this way a little bit. All right, there we go. That's a lot better. All right, so that's beautiful. So what Anthony has left the rec house and he's approaching the main lodge where you go ahead and you check in. And what I like is because this is so small and intimate, and I mean that in the best way possible. Only 11 different suites that you have here, cottages and stuff like that. That you really are catered to, very exclusively, especially when you get greeted.
Absolutely, from the minute that you make your reservations, an email is sent back to you where you're able to fill out your health restrictions, your diet, what type of food you like. It's a curated experience for every guest that comes to the property.
Yeah,
and I think that's what really works for it. The fact that it is small and it is intimate, and it really allows us to custom, create your experience here.
That's awesome, Anthony. I love the rig that you have there. Now you're getting too close, and we're going to start to the sound's going to start to bleed in over here. But you can see us. Hey, that's pretty cool. All right, we're going to take you out of the picture for now. So again, what I really like is because it's the high level and the curated experience. Absolutely. And what you got me thinking about was when we first made arrangements to come up here and visit with you and do this, I immediately heard from somebody on the team that wanted to help me prepare for my visit. And you really go through a whole lot of research with the customer to really create a very bespoke experience. Would be
absolutely. We want it to be a bespoke type experience or a curated experience for you. So everything from what you're eating to what activities you like. And of course, there's a myriad of outdoor activities here from fly fishing. We have our own private streams and lakes here on property.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I didn't get to see much of that because, it was 15 degrees out yesterday.
Absolutely. And we have a wonderful director of experience that that will take you through some of the best fly fishing that you can do up this way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we have archery and a bunch of other things that can keep a guest engaged throughout their experience. Many of them being outdoors, of course, but then, of course, the indoor activities that we have in the entertainment center.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. So how do people mostly spend their time? Because one of the things that we learned last night at dinner was we want to do this all around the area, and then they get here and they're like, yeah, never mind.
Yeah, usually within the first day or two, you'll get everything outdoors, or you'll go and see the property and explore. You get it out of your system. But as we were talking about earlier, your experience in your suite or in your cottage is so comfortable and so relaxing that oftentimes after the first day or two, people just enjoy the suites.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Anthony, I got to tell you, you are not acting like it's 20 degrees out right now.
No, actually, my favorite countries are Finland and Norway and Sweden. So I am dressed properly. I have layers on. So I'm actually, I love it. I love when it's 23 degrees out. But I really can't see you because the sun's hitting me. But how's the shot look? Good?
The shot looks good. You got a little bit of a shadow on you, but it still looks pretty good.
Okay, so I just want to tell you,
depending on where you are, the shadow's like going right down the middle of your face, and you look like that old Star Trek episode where the guy was black.
Is this better? Is this better?
Yeah, that's better. That's absolutely better. Perfect. Stay right there.
So when you come here, especially in the winter, you have to come to just soothe your mind, enjoy the fireplace. But let's talk forget about the recreation center and the beautiful grounds and the great service. Can we talk about the meal we had last night?
We can. And in order to do that, I think I'm going to have to bring up some visuals over here. First of all, that's the building that Anthony and I were staying in last night. The Eagle's Nest where I stayed is in the front. Anthony's was upstairs in the back, both incredible suites. So we start off with drinks. The musical note is actually it was supposed to be, when I put it into the slide, a video that apparently I didn't do correctly of this incredible cocktail that we had last night. It was a smoky, rich rye with some other stuff in it. And then she took the top off, and you could see all the smoke come out after it settles in there for a couple of minutes. Right, Anthony? That was pretty awesome.
It was beautiful. And, the Kelly, right? The mixologist.
Yeah, correct.
She was a real mixologist. She really made drinks. I said, it was interesting. Okay. I'm going to tell you right here, right now. I always talk about the difference between good service and 5-star service. And people say, well, you can train 5-star service. You can and you can't. And so Kelly did something, and I turned to Glenn after she did it. I said, you see the difference there? Glenn said he does not like, what was it, rye? What don't you like?
No, gin.
Gin. He says, make me anything, but I don't like gin. And instead of saying, okay, what else do you like? What else would you like? She said, oh, you're offering me a challenge to make you a drink with gin that you're going to love.
Yep.
And he goes, I guess I am, right?
Yep, that's correct.
That is such a great training tool right there. That one moment was a great training lesson on don't shy away from that, square up and say, okay, you don't like gin? You're going to like my gin. And how did you like that drink when she brought it to you?
I actually thought it was pretty phenomenal. I'm sorry you weren't with us last night because you could have been like doing all the color commentary on my experiences right now.
I really thought about coming up last night.
But then you realized you'd have to have dinner with us and stayed home.
I love you guys. You know that.
But that's really kind of what you guys do better than most companies, is that personal experience with Kelly was phenomenal. And then Rachel, who's the manager, just added so much flavor to the area and tells what's going on. It was phenomenal. And she did the same thing with me. I hate tequila with a passion. And she goes, okay, I'll make you a tequila drink. And it was wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was great. The cocktail program is absolutely terrific, and you have everything here, obviously. And that do a lot of people want to challenge the mixologists and stuff like that to create craft cocktails in this scenario?
Absolutely. I mean, obviously, it's a heightened, elevated guest experience here, right? So there's some good money being spent, right?
Yeah.
So there's definitely a connection that guests want to have with the restaurant and dining experience, as well as
just talk straight into the mic. Don't worry about me.
As well as their bar experience as well. And they do a great job at making sure they meet the needs that you have.
Yeah.
And they make it fun.
Right.
Which I think is
Simon, say close to the mic. Yeah, just talking to the mic and look at me.
You just look at us that way. You don't have to look directly at the mic.
But one of the things
I know you want to, but
last night, if we were paying for the room, it would have been not cheap, but you would pay for a 4.5-star hotel in New York City the same amount of money. However, here you get breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And why don't you show some pictures of the dinner we had last night?
Well, first of all, this is how we started. They bring you out with apps and snacks to begin. And in the middle was an incredibly beautiful bite of a bacon-wrapped fig with a bruschetta filling, which was really incredible balance of flavors.
When I took a bite of that, I didn't know what I was biting into.
Yeah.
And you were up from the table. And I was waiting. I didn't want to tell you what I thought of it.
Yeah.
Because I bit into it and the back of my head exploded. Because I was like, I've never tasted flavors like that. And then I was watching you take a bite of it, and your eyes literally bulged out of your head. You're like, what was that?
Yeah. And as soon as I had that bite, I knew that we were going to be in incredible hands all night. The shito peppers over there were fantastic. And I think those are plantain chips that we had last night, which is visualized on the right, which was absolutely
they were delicious.
So moving on, Nathan, you get to eat here?
Absolutely. Every time I've come here, I mean, it's the highlight. It's one of the shining stars of the resort. I mean, there's a lot of things to like about the resort in general, but the F&B here is unbelievable, and Chef Jesse does a great job with a farm to table menu that's unlike any other.
Right. And hey, Alan White is saying, where? I guess you tuned in late. We're at the Chatwal Lodge in Sullivan County, New York, in White Hill.
Yes, White Hill.
Right.
And it is White Lake. And
White Lake. That's
it. Unbelievable up here. Beautiful private estate that the property is on. And you just can't beat it in terms of the nature and just the overall experience here.
Yeah.
Sure.
Then moving on.
Okay, there it goes.
We had the bread, which was excellent. Came out warm and yummy. It was an olive bread that you see in the top right of that picture. And what were the butters that we had there? I'm totally blanking on that.
One was an olive butter and one was something else, but it was just it was phenomenal. But the soup we had, or the vegetables we had,
the soup in the middle. Yeah.
The mushroom salad that they put out, that the chef put out. One of the things I've said probably 5 times since last night was, there's only been a few times in my career, my life, that I've had a bite of food and the flavors expose themselves one at a time as I'm chewing. And that's what happened last night with this mushroom dish. I actually didn't taste all the flavors until I was done with the full bite. And the last bite is this charred, it looked like pepper, but it was just char. And it was phenomenal. Probably the best.
You can see it in the top right corner of the right picture. There's like a line that's going down of the charred. Do you want to share what it is? Anthony?
What, the mushroom? What?
No, the char. You were talking about the char.
It was absolutely delicious. And I will tell you, it was the best appetizer I think I've ever had.
Wow.
Yeah. And I've had a lot of appetizers.
That's something. Chef Jesse really crushed it over there. So let's move on to the next picture. Ooh.
And you know what was great is we asked the chef to just order for us, and he brought out this shared size of just unbelievable meat, and it was delicious. It was like we ate every bite. Actually, no, we left one bite because
bone-in ribeye, right?
Yeah, and we literally, when I got up, I looked at Glenn and I said, I got myself to a point where I don't think I'm supposed to eat that much food and still be alive.
Right. Yeah, I know. Well, what are you going to do, Anthony? You know,
it's, you know what, but you know what's amazing this is all included in the price. And the price isn't extraordinary when you think about, if you come up here for one night and you're like, I want a great experience, and you come in and you go to that beautiful cabin, you relax a little bit, you unwind, you read a book, you get really, and what's nice about this is you don't have to get fancy, but you want to dress a little bit. Like what I'm wearing tonight or now is kind of what I wore last night.
I put on my
And
dress.
right, you always dress well. So we sat down, we had this 4-hour beautiful conversation with the team, and we had beautiful food, unlimited drinks. So Glenn drank, I think, just one drink, and I had just one drink.
Yeah, sure.
But if we wanted to, we could have had 5 drinks each, which we would have never done, right, Glenn?
No, never, ever would have done. I wouldn't have challenged our incredible mixologist, Kelly, to create new things for me every single time. What was great, Nathan, was you've got the list of drinks, and I started off with, hey, pick your favorite one. And then we got into having this conversation, and then she just like, we're thinking of doing this for the winter menu. Why don't you give it a try? So that was really amazing experience too.
Yeah. So Nathan, how hard is it or easy is it to sell this place?
Right.
It's extremely easy to sell. I mean, it's
don't say that, dude. I mean, but you're a sales and marketing guy. You got to make it look like you're doing it all.
Yeah,
it's a real tough.
I think what makes it great is, and now, by the way, for anyone that's watching, it's a great time to come up. Price points are anywhere between $1,200 to $1,500 a night, which I happen to think is incredible for the value that you get here.
It's a little too incredible.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And of course, during high season, the rates go up a bit, but this is a great time to come in and explore these things with your families, because you're not going to get these kind of prices all year long. And this is a great time to come up.
Yeah, sure. Anthony, we saw you lost the picture there. Can you hear us?
And it is an easy sell, by the way.
Yeah.
It just is. I think we've done a couple of FAMs with some key entertainment. I mean, not entertainment,
journalists,
but some key leisure travel agents who own companies and really cater to the type of clients that we're looking for here. And they were blown away. Again, loving Chef Jesse and the meals that he provided for them as well. But I think the value of what you get for what you pay for is incredible.
And he's underestimating that, right, Anthony? We can't hear you now. Hold on. For some reason, you're muted. I can't unmute you. You must have done it yourself. All right.
So anyway, I got a call, unfortunately. So that was what the problem was. But last night, me and Glenn, if we went to a restaurant in the city, we had $1,000 check coming to us.
Oh,
that was $1,000 meal without hesitation, and in a decent restaurant, not even at the best restaurant, because we drank maybe 4 or 5 drinks each. Plus, we had an appetizer, we had a pre-course to the appetizer, we had the main course, and we had dessert. And the creme brulee was the best I've ever had, and I'm a creme brulee fan. So it was exceptional. So when you open a place like this, the lodge is beautiful. Obviously, the site, what you see everywhere you walk is beautiful. But there are some other places up here, not as nice as this place, but I can drive down the highway and see some of this beauty, right? Yeah. So the scenery you get when you're up here, the cabin is gorgeous and comfortable. But the thing that just completely levels it up to a 5+ experience that you can't find anywhere else is your team and the chef. It was absolutely top-notch, top meals I've ever had in my life, top experience I've ever had in my life. And I don't like sitting at the bar, and Glenn does. So we sat at the bar, and the time the meal came, I didn't want to go back. I didn't want to go to the table. I wanted to sit at the bar because I was so comfortable. I felt like I was with family. But there's so much food. Rachel said, no, you got to go sit at the table because there's way too much food coming.
So they made us sit in front of that.
And it's all included, bro. It's all included.
Yeah. Nathan?
Yeah, I think when you guys have been in hospitality for a long time, I think what's critical to a guest really enjoying the experience that they have is how do people make them feel when they're there?
Right.
And I think one of the shining stars that you can really see at the property as well is each person that's helping you out, whether it's in our F&B department, at the bar, wherever they're at, they really care about your experience and they're personable and you fall in love with them. And I think that's a big part and a big reason why we have recurring guests coming back over and over again.
And you guys have only been open, 8 months?
8 months.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty incredible. Anthony, one of the things that we started to talk about, but we kind of got sidetracked, was they send you out a survey when you first make your reservation, so they get a better understanding of who you are, what your tastes are, what your desires are. And when we were talking to Chef Jesse last night, he really brought that to light, because they really focus on what you like, and then he basically shops for that, right?
Absolutely. There's an amazing farm in the area where he goes and buys fresh produce. It's literally farm to table type environment.
Oh yeah, and he's working with a lot of purveyors within the 40-50 mile radius, and some others beyond for some specialty items and stuff like that. But you can see the care and the dedication that he went into to really find the best of every single category of food possible, right, Anthony?
Yeah, when he was talking about sourcing food, it was like listening to a scientist try to, come up with some new invention. He was so dedicated to sourcing food. When I asked him where he got the mushroom and why this mushroom, I have no idea what he said, because he was so far over my head.
He was like 15 minutes of really awesome conversation, though.
He was talking about soil and different types of soil, and I was just like, down the street at the farmer was great if you just said that, but he went into this.
No, but
unbelievable.
He's like, this mushroom guy's in upstate New York. This mushroom guy's in Rhode Island,
and this guy's got this soil, and this guy's got that soil, and that soil's no good, and this soil's great. But you taste it on the plate. You taste it on the plate. Like this morning, we had eggs, and I asked, and don't make fun of the way I say eggs, because my kids always do. But I asked Rachel. I said, "What was the color of the egg?" I mean, because I just thought they put a pound of cheddar cheese on it and just really it caramelized into the egg. But she told us, right? It's the egg, the egg they source.
Yeah. Yes, it's the organic,
the bright orange yolks.
Yeah. And that's the thing that really makes the food incredible here. It's all fresh and it's all farm to table.
Yeah.
You can't beat that experience. It definitely has a different taste.
What I really liked about this, Anthony, is that we didn't really expect it to be like this, right? So the whole experience almost was very fresh to us, wouldn't you say?
Well, yeah. And I'm a really good guest until I'm not. And so an experience like this could get me, and you know me as well as anyone, that if this experience wasn't great, I would have made an excuse not to be on the show today. I'd have been like, I can't talk about this place because this place is not. This place is one of the best places I've ever been, and it's only 2 hours from my house. It was. I didn't expect it. I knew it was going to be good, but that meal and the comfort of that bed last night. Glenn knocked on my door like a police officer this morning, like I owed him money or I was going to jail, and I didn't want to get out of my bed.
Talk about that.
I was doing emails, and I was just like, "What?" And he goes, "Let's go to breakfast." I was like, all right. I didn't want to leave.
Yeah, for sure. So Nathan, how does this fit into the overall portfolio of what you guys have been doing at Dream Hotel Group?
I think what makes Dream Hotel Group a fascinating company is that we have several different brands that really bring very unique and different experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that helps us win as a company, in that if you need that 5-star experience, we have Chatwal that can deliver that in a big way. But if you also want another type of property that has some nightlife to it and some fun activities to do and some great F&B opportunities for you, then you have a wonderful brand like Dream. So I think they all deliver something different and kind of caters to whatever type of guest.
Right. Unscripted is a little bit more casual.
A little more casual. Definitely, great price points and unique locations. I think each brand delivers differently.
Right. But they all have that same thing of allowing you to stay the way you want to stay and giving that guest that kind of control.
Absolutely. No question about it.
Yeah. Interesting. So, Anthony, go on.
I was just going to say, I'm sitting out here and I am so comfortable. Like the temperature is perfect. The weather is perfect. I'm seeing the water come off the icicles. It's just like, I don't want to stop. I just want to sit here. You guys talk and I'll just enjoy this.
It's a balmy 30 degrees. So
that's really you know what? After this, I'm going to grab some hot chocolate. I'm going to sit here.
Oh, I love that idea. So I got to ask, because people are probably thinking about it. How is this going to all, fit in with Hyatt now that the acquisition has occurred?
Oh, we're really excited about the sale of the company to Hyatt. We really feel like Hyatt is going to give us that
Right.
added exposure, both from a marketing standpoint
Mm-hmm.
and also from just a visibility standpoint.
Right.
Right, they're experienced in delivering luxury lifestyle hotels, very similar to ours. Right,
Right.
they've already done this before. They've been successful at it. They took over Thompson. They took over Two
Yep.
Roads. So they have the experience that we knew we would want,
Right.
with a brand like ours, which we, obviously are catering to your corporate travelers and your leisure travelers that want a luxury lifestyle experience. They want great rooftops. They want great bars. They want great lounges. They want that experience so that basically if you're going somewhere and you're spending time there, you don't have to really go somewhere else to enjoy yourself. It can be done on property. And we knew that Hyatt would be able to deliver in that way, as well as deliver from a business aspect, right? They have the point programs. They have the loyalty programs. They just have a wide range of things that are going to help continue to push the company forward in the direction that Jay and Michael and those guys had in mind.
Yeah, I've been a big fan of what Mark Hoplamazian has been doing over at Hyatt. He really reimagined that company from the ground up and has created something very special through internal development and the acquisitions. And I think this is going to really be the crown jewel for everybody.
It's going to fit right in. I think with a lot of the acquisitions that Hyatt has had in the past, they're really strengthening their portfolio to really be able to accommodate any type of guest that could ever come in.
Yeah. Anthony?
And it really allows you to level up. I mean, it allows the company to get to a different level because of the systems in place at such a big company like Hyatt. It really allows you to grow. Where this company came from a couple of small hotels to what you guys have built it into. And Jay Stein, who's been at the top for a long time at Dream and at the company, you guys have done a great job. But now Hyatt just will put it on steroids.
Yeah. Hey, Anthony, Suzanne is saying that the sun is coming in halfway on your face again. If you want to readjust yourself, it's a little bit. We're having a little bit of problems with the sun, but at least it's sunny out.
How's that? Is that better?
That's a little bit better. And Suzanne, so I can't reach the keyboard, so I'm seeing what you're saying, but I can't. I can't respond. So overall, as as VP of Sales and Marketing, what is the climate out there, generally speaking?
It's the year we went into the year with Omicron on everyone's minds, and a bit of an instability with where we thought the direction.
We forget, like a year ago, everything was shutting down again, and it's like, oh no, not again.
And by the way, we were coming off of a couple of months of huge success.
When we thought it was over,
almost, and then Omicron comes and kind of sets everyone back. And I would say within March, April, we could see a big shift starting to happen. Yeah. And
it stuck straight to the mic.
This ended up being an incredible year for us on the business front. I mean, most of our properties are operating now at revenue of pre-COVID conditions. 2019. In fact, we have a couple of hotels in our Midtown area that have had some of the best months they've ever had historically.
That's amazing.
So, business has returned. The corporate travelers are returning. There's still some lagging coming from Europe, which is something that we would love to get that business going. But we've been very impressed with the amount of business that has supported us domestically to allow us to have these huge months. And, we're not even getting the normal traffic that we get from Europe yet.
Right.
Yeah. And you were saying before off camera, you were saying, I've always loved working and I've always loved when it's busy, but now you have more of appreciation for the business. Talk about that.
Absolutely. It's funny because amongst each other in your office and stuff, when it's really busy, normally you complain about it a little bit like, man, I don't even know what's going on. I don't know where to begin. But after going through what we've all went through in the past 2 years, 3 years with COVID and dealing with all of that, now, there's no complaints. Like when it's busy like this, you soak it up and you appreciate it because, a lot of hotels didn't know if they would survive through COVID. And, we were fortunate enough to have some great leadership at our company that pulled us through.
Yeah.
And you didn't know in 2019, you didn't know you can go to zero. You can have like a 2008 where things can go down. But you didn't
No one
know
ever
you.
did that. We'd all
So-
be fired if anything
Yeah, right.
remotely close like that happened.
What's that? I didn't hear you.
I said we'd all likely be fired if anything remotely close to that happened. So we
Right.
definitely couldn't
Right.
believe that you could ever be
Right. So going to zero, coming back, every single guest that comes into your hotel could be taken away from you tomorrow. And I don't think any of us realize that. And then COVID, hopefully if you're paying attention, you just love and appreciate not only your business and your family, that you just appreciate life more, that it could go to zero. And there was something freeing about that everyone being, obviously COVID, there was nothing good about that. And, unfortunately, I've lost a couple of people in my family. But what it did was it brought everyone down to the same. So whether you made good money, whether you had a great job, whether you didn't, like no one could do anything, and no one had control over their level of wherever they are in life. Everybody's at the same. Stay home, don't go out, take care of your family, and just do the best you can. And that's the first time in my lifetime, and probably anybody's lifetime, that everybody was exactly the same.
It's very true, and along the lines of what you were saying, it really allowed you to appreciate what you have, both from the company that you're blessed to be at. I mean, I was fortunate enough to work through COVID, and you don't take these things for granted. You appreciate the people that have appreciated you in your life. So whether it's your family or whether it's the employer that you has that has a need to keep you on board and values you enough to do so, you appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Glenn, how's the light on my face? Is it okay?
It's all right. It's all right. We're going to be wrapping up in a few minutes anyway, so we'll just
Is the general manager coming on, or is he not available?
No, I think he's off making sure this place is excellent. So I got a question for you. When it comes to this high-end luxury guest, have they changed since all of this went down?
I think one of the things that obviously, there's a certain level, there's a high level of service that you want to deliver as a 5-star.
My gut is telling me that they've always expected that, though,
yes,
right?
But the shift that you see is that because of everything that has transpired with COVID and stuff, sometimes the guests just want you to leave them alone a little bit.
Right.
So you have to run that fine balance of making sure that you deliver a high level of service, because this is a 5-star hotel, but at the same time you want to give people their space, more space than they would typically have wanted coming into a property like this.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. That makes a whole lot of sense. But it's interesting to see how the team here knows when people want to be left alone and when they want to have that connection with the staff in order to facilitate whatever.
That's a critical thing, and I think to the point that that Anthony was making earlier, it's finding the right staff that kind of just have that natural gut instinct. Like they know how much to talk to someone. They know when to pull back. They know when to engage more so that they can create, a conversation with someone and kind of engage them in the experience.
I wish we could have Rachel on. I wish we could have Rachel on because
unbelievable.
Yeah, she's over there. She doesn't know we were talking about her. Oh, now she does.
Is there any way she can come out here and we can talk to her a little bit?
Hey, Rachel, any chance you could just jump on for a sec? All right, she's gonna come over here.
Okay, she can sit right here, or you need the microphone.
No, we want her to be able to hear. Put this on so you can hear anything. Yeah. Yeah, and then Nathan, you can come over.
So when Rachel comes on, you'll understand.
Yeah, she's right there.
She just truly appreciates.
All right.
Rachel, we were talking about you.
You can't hear through the headphones?
Okay.
Because it's not plugged in. Give me a second.
Okay. So Nathan, can you hear me, Nathan?
You guys are really.
So Rachel, can you hear me?
Now she can.
Now I can.
Okay, so Rachel, we were talking bad about you. We were saying that we expected it to be great, but you and your team and Kelly and the chef really elevated this experience. And I'm not easy to impress. And I would imagine a lot of guests that come here aren't easy to impress because, like I told you last night, people that come here kind of bought it, sold it, invented it. Things aren't going to impress them. It's a feeling. It's what the plate you put in front of them. It's the drink you make. It's why you make it. It's how you make it. And you and your team are exceptional. They're the best in the business. So what does it mean to work at a place like this?
I mean, it's an incredible opportunity. And I think a lot of members of my team, we come from different experiences and
Right.
volume backgrounds and upscale trendy and kind of a pace that didn't allow you to create and cultivate those like more intimate and extended experiences. And a lot of us came from restaurants solely and not just restaurants with a hotel. So
Right.
a different extended experience to have the guests with you. And so what we really love about it is getting to have that personal interaction. Usually night one, like a guest will do the wine pairing with dinner, or we'll have like a little cocktail adventure with them. And we hone in on those preferences and kind of what they're celebrating. Like,
Right.
if it's the night of your anniversary, lean back, let you two enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
If you're here for like, we've been together for a million years, we just want someone to talk to and
Right.
like brighten up, spice up our lives. And we're also here for that. So I think it is just really having that innate sense of reading people and cultivating that whole
and it was interesting because last night was a different experience, because when I went to the bar, it was like you guys were all in. We were talking for 2 hours straight, enjoying. You
the
were
only reason why we ate
making
dinner is because we felt guilty that we, we're going to keep the whole staff here,
Right. So then we went to in front of the fireplace. It was just me and Glenn, and it was a very nice, quiet experience. And you guys came in and out appropriately. So you had I want all in. I want all your attention. Talk to me. To let's just have our dinner, and then the chef came out at the end, and he spent at least an hour, talking to us about how he sources food. It was a really great experience. It really was.
I'm very glad you enjoyed it. But yeah, that's kind of the key thing too, is like I feel like we get that social interaction with guests, and then we know when to kind of lean back, let you enjoy what should be the star of the show here. Don't want to, we're not the stars of the show. Sometimes the food definitely speaks for itself. And so we really want to get you to have that immersive experience where you can focus on that as well. So I think it all comes together really nicely. And it's honestly our pleasure. I've been lucky enough to find a team who feels like I do and genuinely enjoys what they do for a living.
Yeah. Not only. Yeah. Sorry, Anthony, you wanted to say something?
I was going to say, if you don't enjoy it and you're in this environment, you'll stick out like a sore thumb.
Oh yeah, for sure. But the staff here, everybody seems to really be enthusiastic about setting the stage and creating those experiences. And it's so important because this group of people that Anthony was saying, been there, done that. And, folks out there, you're not just competing with the experiences that they're having anywhere in the neighborhood. It's every experience these people have had around the globe. And you've got to come in at like an 11 on a scale of 1 to 10 to even like hit the radar. Right, Nathan?
Yeah, there's no question about that. I think the guests that are coming into the property are elevated to guests who are elevated in the sense of their experience of traveling around the world, eating and dining at some of the best places, staying at some of the best hotels around the world.
You can stay.
They are not your typical guests. So in order to make sure that you're pleasing them, you definitely have to have a lot of things working in your favor.
Yeah. So let me run it back to you then, since you're still sitting here.
Okay.
What are some of the, more unusual types of things that are requested that you just got to be able to bounce on when it comes to food?
I think like when it comes to the menu and menu design, we
just speak right into the mic. Don't worry about looking at me.
We have what seems like a simple and straightforward menu, but that's part of the point, is because it needs to be very malleable. Like dietary, not only allergies, but like restrictions, preferences, and plans are something really important, especially to people who travel quite frequently. That's like, it's not just how they cook at home. They enjoy having those options when they travel, since they do it a lot. So it's really getting to be that malleable and having those important points of contact before the guest arrives, and the ability to make adjustments while they're here so they can enjoy their stay.
And don't confuse the word simple with plain or average. It's simple but exceptional at the same time. A combination that I don't see very often.
Well, I look at it this way, right? If you have a person that's very intellectual, but also very funny, and maybe really outgoing, but sometimes really quiet. Sometimes if you put that all in one, if that person's just kind of being everything at once, it doesn't work. It's the same thing with the food. It's if you have this beautiful flavor of mushroom and this beautiful flavor of a sauce or this beautiful flavor of a salad, and it's all working at once, it doesn't work. What he does brilliantly, and I put him up with the top chefs in this country because I've had a lot of their food. What he does brilliantly, he lets each one breathe and each one be the star of the plate. And that is a talent that is not something even the best chefs in the world have. So it's just extraordinary.
Yeah, it's very difficult to have the temperament to allow specific ingredients to speak for themselves as opposed to getting carried away with it. When I hear those, the world's most famous chefs speak, they're always like, you got to focus on that. And Chef Jesse's got that nailed down for sure.
Yeah, and me and Glenn had a bet on what the chef was going to look like, and I said short hair, very corporate looking, and he said long hair, beard, and very kind of hippie looking, and he won.
And we're up in we're in Bethel. Come on, dude. Where Woodstock didn't happen, right?
Yeah, when I did a show up here when we do it Hotel Impossible, and I did a show up here, and I was so excited. I was so excited, and I was in Woodstock, and I was like, oh, so where was the concert? And they're like, no, it's in Bethel, which is what, 40 minutes away from Woodstock, or 30 minutes?
Yeah. Yep. Which I think was in Saugerties or something like that, right?
Yeah, and the reason being is at the end, I guess they lost their permits or whatever it was. But just to be in this space, I mean, this space is where Woodstock happened, right here, right, like 5 minutes away.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty it's pretty cool to be up here. Anthony, anything else that you want to do before we get out of here today?
Well, take me out and then finish up with them, and then I'll create another great shot for you.
All right, we'll do one more great shot with you. So how does it feel, Rachel, being stuck here now with us when you weren't planning on doing this at all?
It's okay. A lot of my day involves impromptu everything.
Yeah.
So I'm an old hand at that. It feels great. And you guys have both been a pleasure to have on this property, and we're really excited. I mean, I think the whole team here has just loved being a part of a project like this.
Yeah.
It means something to each of us.
Yeah, it really does. Nathan, how does it feel to you after all these years of talking about it, to experience it, to stay and be able to share it with everybody?
It was worth the wait. And, I think, COVID slowed things down a little bit with the construction and what have you. But I think it all ended up working out perfectly because we were able to deliver on a high level.
Yeah.
And I think that's essentially, what you want, particularly as a salesperson and a sales leader. You're looking for the product to be something that you can really sell to the customers that you need to sell to. And they've delivered in every way, from talent, on property, the people that we have working here, and the people that we've been blessed to hire here, as well as, the food and the experience and the guest rooms and the suites and everything. It's just a well-rounded, well-done property. And I think, we're reaping the rewards of that now.
Yeah, it sure is. Anthony, you got your shot?
Not really. It's not the best shot, but it's the shot I have without walking around. So let's talk if we can, because I think I was hoping the general manager would jump on, but he's busy. The general manager, I mean, he's been doing this kind of level of service for a while.
Yes, with Relais and Chateau.
Yes,
you said before.
Relais Chateau. So he has the background and he's familiar with these types of markets. Having a hotel, obviously, in a market like this is different. And I think we have the right person that's here. The company hired a phenomenal individual who has a ton of background in these types of environments and really also knows how to deliver service on a high level, which is, what we are all about at this property.
Yep.
And I just have to add, he is absolutely a hands-on leader, and we're very, very lucky to have him. There's nothing not a challenge that man can't meet.
That's awesome.
So.
Big win for us. Big win.
Yeah. Excellent. Seems like this whole thing is a big win for Dream Hotel Group and soon to be Hyatt. Anthony, any final thoughts, observations?
Thank you for your your hospitality.
Yeah.
Oh, we're happy to have you. And, I was begging Glenn for a while. I was like, Glenn, you got to come on the show.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you guys had an opportunity to come and see it. And hopefully a lot of your viewers will see it and become intrigued by it and come in. And we're happy to help you.
And also, if people want to learn, like if you're in the business and you want to do something like this, or you have an Airbnb and you want to do something, come and learn how to do this, because it's not about stuff. It's about a heart and it's about hospitality. And, Rachel, when you were talking last night, you have this beautiful smile. You're from Wisconsin. And I was just like, I've never seen anybody smile and light up a room like you do. But when you spoke, you taught me things. Like you taught me about how you go about your business. And you really have a tremendous knowledge of this industry and of this place. And it was just really fascinating to bring that level of smile and hospitality and service, but you walk the walk. Sometimes people are all show and no go, and you're show and go. So thank you.
It was my absolute pleasure.
Thank you. And guys, thank you so much for absolutely
much.
everything. This has been great. And one final message to all you out there. Listen, you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, all of those great audio sources. And I know you're doing that more than ever, but I really encourage you for today's show in particular, if you're listening to this right now, go check it out online. Go watch this episode and see how beautiful this place is and how well put together it is so you can understand what true luxury is like. Remember, he's at Anthony Hotels. I'm at Traveling Glenn. Anything final that you need to say?
No, sir.
All right, everybody. Remember, you've got one life, so blaze on and
Be kind to yourself.
see you tomorrow.
And